The main aim for Ignition is we want to change the lives of the youth of Alexandra through education, through training, so that they have a meaningful employment and that they can then influence their immediate family and their children and just break the poverty cycle.
Well, I've been involved with Rays of Hope for many years and came in contact with the founding members of Ignition, who just so inspired me by their perseverance and by their passion.
I was born and bred in Alexandra Township. I'm an oral hygienist by profession.
I wanted to be a chartered accountant.
I did my motion picture and television production.
I started my IT diploma.
Psychology, and then my honours in development studies. Working at Doctors Without Borders.
So initially, we looked at just funding the students. They passed matric, they seemed to be worthy candidates, but then they didn't have the funding. And we had some really, really bright students who couldn't even pass the first set of exams. And so we decided that they needed a lot more than just funding.
There's a seminar twice a year where they teach us study skills, life skills itself, how to handle pressure.
There's a session where we'll sit around and we'll talk about our challenges throughout the whole year. And I'll listen to each and everyone's story, and you'll sit there and relate, and you thought that you're having it bad. You know, I'm alone in all of these things, you know, I'm failing or I failed this test, things like that. And you listen to other people saying and they overcome it. That would quite motivate them. Like, if she could do it, I could do it.
The support I got from Ignition was above the financial support, it was the mentorship.
Initially, I mentored all the students, but as we grew, we also then introduced individual mentors.
You know, I think when I met her in my matric year, it was just so fascinating how someone who comes from a very different world, who comes from a very different background to me, yet we shared so many things in common. We shared sort of the same vision and had sort of a similar heart.
The first time I met Karen, she did Alexander. She wanted to know more about Candice, the background of Candice. She did even visit my neighbor's way.
One of the challenges would be, for me, it's cross-cultural mentoring. I don't have a language in common with my mentee besides English. What ends up happening is you can have compassion for the situation and empathy for the situation, but you may not understand the exact thing that the person is going through.
First of all, I'm a boy who was raised by a single mother, and I was introduced to this guy, Ross Genvi. It's very emotional for me because I met this guy who doesn't have to do anything for me, who has no obligation, no ties to me, but took on this full-time role of not just being a mentor, but being a father to me.
They've mentored me. They've actually matured my way of thinking.
And Sarah sort of proved that as African, a child is not raised by one person, but it's raised by many. And she did something that was very interesting. She never felt pity for my problems.
They literally held my hand till I finished my degree.
And I think this made a big impact in many ways. It wasn't just the fact that they'd walked the same path, but it was somebody, an adult, who was professional, who was taking the time to listen to them.
Kunzima ukukhulisa umntwana eAlexander, kodwa ke ithi ngithi uhloniphile. Ukhule kuumntwana othanda isikolo. Ngimbona futhi ukuthi uyimisele nangesikolo.
I fell pregnant while ngisese university, so kuke kwaba difficult for me.
Moya wami wahlubuka kakhulu sekhulelwe. Kodwa ngathi hayi kuzodlula ngoba ngiyambona ukuthi uphokophelele usafuna ukuqhubeka futhi.
Young supporter, yanginikeza ama ideas ne support yabo ukuthi ngiqhubekeke phambili ngaze ngagcina ngaqeda isikole.
Ignition has touched the lives of 54 youths over the last 9 years. 80% of the students who receive funding have achieved or are moving towards meaningful employment. You can be a part of these success stories. You can make a difference. Mentor a student, sponsor a student, or make a donation. Email us at ignition@raysofhope.coza.